Have you ever been on Japan? And suddenly you hear this alarm ringing on your phone, your TV, or your radio program.
怖い感じになったんだろう。雲が透けて、雲が白いからですからね。白目ですね。全部ここで緊急地震速報をお伝えします。緊急地震速報が入りました。千葉県東方沖
緊急地震速報です。強い揺れに警戒してください。緊急地震速報です。強い揺れに警戒してください。強い揺れに警戒してください。緊急地震速報です。
Yeah, that's a common thing for Japanese citizens, and the alarm noises serve to remind them that a natural disaster like an earthquake or tsunami is occurring. In Japan, you will sometimes hear sudden beeping noise interrupting your TV program and words flashing across the top of the screen. That is a public announcement of the occurrence and magnitude of any earthquake or natural disaster that just occurred in Japan. At the same time, an alarm warning or evacuation directive will be declared if there is a risk of tsunami. Particularly, in order for the earthquake alert to be useful to you, it might be helpful to understand some basic earthquake indicators. However, before getting into how Japan used technology for earthquake mitigations, let's explore the relationship between Japan and the earthquakes. Japan's high number of earthquakes is due to its geographical location along the Pacific Ring of Fire. In Japanese is Kantai Heiyo Kazantai. The 40,000 kilometers long chain consists of at least 450 volcanoes. In Japan, there are around 265 volcanoes classified as potentially active. Japan overlaps the four continental plates, the Pacific, the Philippine, the Eurasian, and the North American plate. Here, the plates slide over liquid rock and cause tension, which is eventually released and expressed as earthquakes. In addition to the clash of the continental plates, the Japan Trance is another cause of Japan's numerous earthquakes. The Japan Trance is an 800-meter long deep oceanic trance in the northwestern part of the Pacific with a depth of 8,410 meters. In 2006, seismically active volcanoes with a height of 50 meters were discovered 5,000 meters within the trance and believed to be responsible for Tohoku earthquakes in March 2011.
For the wave hit, even though they were telling people you need to get away from the shorelines, you need to get away from the water. Just watching this wave hit and cars and buildings and houses being swept away in it, I think we're going to see a significant number of casualties, especially up in the northern part of the country where the quake was epicentered.
Among natural disasters, earthquakes are the most difficult to predict in advance. Fortunately, innovations in bass vibration control technology continue to unfold in Japan. One example is Tokyo's Skytree. At 634 meters, 2,080 feet in height, the Skytree is the tallest radio tower. The lofty structure reduces vibration caused by earthquakes through its core column vibration control system, which share features with traditional architecture. In addition to supporting the structure, the Shimbansura passing through the center of Skytree Tower function as a counterweight. The Shimbansura moves independently of the tower, counterbalancing and suppressing swaying motion during an earthquake, explains Atsuo Konishi, the structural designer of Tokyo Skytree. In fact, this structural technique resembled the design of the five-story pagoda at Horyuji Temple, constructed about 1,400 years ago, making it Japan's oldest wooden building. During this long history, there are no records of the Horyuji pagoda ever collapsing due to earthquakes. This is attributed to a central pillar called the Shimban-shira inside the pagoda, which provides an independent counterweight that cancels out vibration during an earthquake. The high rises of Tokyo, Osaka, and Yokohama dominate the cityscapes around them. The towers give them the impression of being as immovable and steadfast as a human-made structure can be. These towers are the fixed backdrop to daily urban life in Japan, as they are in enlarged and full of city and the world. While people and traffic bustle around them, they are fixed and still, the pins that hold the rest of the hectic cities together. It takes an earthquake to reveal that perspective to be an illusion. In Japan, skyscrapers have to be able to move. There are two main levels of resilience that engineers work towards. The first is to withstand smaller earthquakes, the type that a building might see 3 or 4 times in lifespan in Japan. For this magnitude, any damage that requires repair is not acceptable. The building should be so well designed that it can escape these earthquakes unscathed. The second level of resilience is withstanding extreme earthquakes, which are rarer. The bar was set by the Great Kanto earthquake of 1923. This was a large earthquake of magnitude 7.9 that devastated Tokyo and Yokohama and killed more than 140,000 people. 4 earthquakes of a greater magnitude than this benchmark, preserving buildings perfectly is no longer the goal. Any damage does not cause a human casualty is acceptable. So, I hope after you watch this video, you won't get shocked again when you get a beeping noise from your phone or when your TV is suddenly interrupted by a natural disaster info.
「緊急地震速報です。強い揺れに警戒してください。
See you!